I'll do some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boomstick. Here's Johnny.
I have to return some videotapes.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Hello and welcome to a death-defying episode of All Things Horror. I am your host Ben and I'm joined here with my co-host Matt. If you are new to the show, each week we choose a movie to break down and review. We give it our honest opinions and rate it from 1 to 10. We have a brief spoiler-free chat about the movie before we head into the plot and discuss our favourite and least favourite parts of the film. And if you stick around to the end, we'll finish off with some interesting trivia and a fun little game created by myself. This week we're going to be discussing Final Destination from 2000, and the synopsis straight from the back of the box goes as follows. After an eerie premonition leads a handful of passengers to disembark an ill-fated flight, death, with all of its ingenious contraptions of doom at the ready, stalks those survivors one by one in the gory, gleeful shocker that launched the fright-filled film series. And this is directed by James Wong, not James Wong. Main cast, Devon, Sawa, I think that's how you say it. Ali, Larter, Kerr Smith, and Seann William Scott, a.k.a. the Stiffmeister.
Yeah, everyone playing against type. Like, you've got the Stiffmeister as a geek.
Yeah.
You've got Jack from Dawson's Creek as like the jock when he's like the exact opposite sensitive guy in Dawson's Creek. You've got sexy Ali Larter from Varsity Blues as the sort of quiet, bookish girl. Yeah, it's. I think that's really cool about this film.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really cool, all of the different people playing against type. It is so 2000s. Like, you've got Devon Sawa, who's Stan, and also the amazing Idle Hands, which is not Idle Hands, just once. Idle Hands, which is an amazing film. I need to rewatch that. So, like, the cast is so good, and like you said, James Wong, who did some of the best X-Files episodes, and I believe that this was originally going to be an X-Files episode.
Yeah, I read that, yeah. It was written as an X-Files episode, but New Line Cinema actually persuaded the writer, Jeffrey Reddick, to make it into a full-length film.
Yeah,
so
and he's done all right out of it because his name is attached to all of the sequels, even though I don't think he's had anything to do with any of the sequels, just coming up with the original characters and concept.
Ah, okay. I didn't look into that. I was going to ask if you knew if he wrote all the rest. Because I think the second one kind of ties into it because Ali Larter is kind of the lead role in that one.
Yeah, so he'll get a credit for that, and like his name will be next to most of the things. I'm pretty sure. He gets a character's credit for 5, for 4, for 3. He does come up with he gets a story credit for the second one.
Ah, okay, all right, that makes sense.
And a screenplay credit obviously for the first one because it's his, and story credit because he did it.
Yeah. I'm assuming you've already seen this one before, but have you seen any of the others, all the sequels in the franchise?
I've seen some of them. I've seen the first and second at the cinema at the time, and that was the last time I watched either of those two. So it's literally been 24 years since I last watched Final Destination, the first one, until yesterday. So that was pretty cool. The third I can't remember. The fourth one, the racetrack one, that's the guy from the DC, Nick Zano one. I'm trying to think who he plays in the Legends, what's it called? Legends of Tomorrow. He's in that. But that one's like bang. I think I gave it 4 out of 10 on IMDb. The Final Decision. The fifth one, I'm not sure if I've seen that one. I don't think I have. I am interested in the next one because I like things on ships, and I believe it's going to be on a ship.
Ah, okay, yeah, I was going to ask about that. That's supposed to come out next year, right? The sixth one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I'm excited for that one. However, it's called Bloodlines, and I feel like so many films have bloodlines in them.
We've made that joke before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hellraiser did Bloodlines, Amityville did Bloodlines, yeah.
So I feel like they need to get rid of the Bloodlines before they release that. So yeah, I'm like, this is really cool because it's the best made of all of those.
Yeah.
By far. And I'm like, even there's like real crash footage, and like the timing of the scary stuff is genuinely well done.
Yeah.
It's so 2000s, like the music, like his posters on the wall, he's got like the Goo Goo Dolls, and like he's got like one of John Waters' films, Pecker, with Edward Furlong in it. It's like indie kid. I won't go into, this isn't a spoiler, but my favourite laugh out loud moment is the dad explaining what's happening really quickly at the beginning of the film. He's like, so you're going on a school trip with all your friends, and you're getting on a plane, and you're going out to the... And it's like, all right, Dad. Well, why did you just say that? No reason.
Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, he looks at the camera so everybody knows what's going on. Because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I think I do get them all kind of mixed up, but I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think I've seen all of them, but maybe not the fifth one. But they were fairly frequent. Looking at the years, they seem to come out like after this one, like every 3 years up until like 2011, which was the fifth one. So I am excited to see the next one.
I think the new one will be much better than those sort of middle of the road ones, because I think that was when horror was on a bit of a downturn, and a bit like when we did Wrong Turn, where you got like 3 or 4, and they felt, even if they were at the cinema, you felt like they were just straight to DVD versions of the first film. Or similar, like just not quite as good. So yeah, it's good to delve back into this one. Maybe it'll be really cool. It'll be like this one and the newest one are the best two. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I always kind of compared it with like the Saw franchise, because you know what it's going to be already. Like all the stories are kind of the same, but people go there for like the deaths, like and the fun kind of contraptions of how these people are going to die.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like it's very creative.
Yeah,
and like there's some moments in this where it does get me. Even the end of the film gets me. Like I'm like, oh shit. Like the teacher moment. We'll talk about this, but like all of those little moments that come up, they're actually done really well. And because it had been 24 years since I last saw it, I couldn't remember a lot of them. So it was pretty cool. At first I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good, especially when the dad starts giving all that exposition. I was like, oh no. But actually, it is good. Devon Sawa was a really engaging actor. I'm sure he still is. I haven't seen him in anything recently. I think he's all MMA'd out now and like massively muscled.
He does,
but like
look
as a kind
big,
of awkward, geeky kind of guy, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's not geeky. I don't know how to describe him. Just like an everyman, I guess.
Yeah.
He's really good though. He's great in this. It's a hard character to play because.
Yeah. Like you say, I mean, 24 years ago. I mean, the year 2000. It's quite a unique film, especially for that time. I don't really recall a movie before that. I don't know if you, because I see this as kind of a game changer. There's not really a horror film that's like this, if that makes sense.
Like timey-wimey ones.
Yeah.
There isn't, certainly not around that time. I think maybe sort of more sci-fi related time loop ones. But this was kind of lumped in with I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream and that kind of revitalized brief period of time where they were getting tons and tons of people at the cinema watching these kind of teen movies, even like American Pie, because obviously there's some similar people. So it's like a teen movie revival. Some of them happen to be horror. But I think regardless of whether they were horror or not, I think people were just watching those people in those films. Would have watched them anyway. I guess this has got a science-based sort of feel to it as well. But obviously it's got a lot of reference to horror. Because all the names of the the characters, I was like, oh no, like that's that's Nosferatu, and I was like, oh, Todd Browning, oh, Alfred Hitchcock, and I was going through it, I was like, that's a bit of a coincidence, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it's not a coincidence, they've done it deliberately.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself in like a Final Destination moment where you like look around and like you kind of steer clear from something because it looks like a potential disaster?
Yeah, if it's like those big sort of propane tank things you see them on the back of a truck if they're driving in front of you, you feel like they're going to roll all logs. Not that we have a lot of logging trucks, but if you have a big truck behind you with things on it, I used to always think of it as like Casualty as well, the TV show Casualty, whereas you see something at the beginning of the episode and you think this isn't going to end well, and then the next thing the person's in hospital. But yeah, totally get that. It's a weird one because I think that the truck one, I think in my head I thought that was the first film, so I was waiting for the truck thing in this, and it never happened. No. My wife said exactly the same thing to me. She was like, oh, this is the one with the logs and the truck and the car thing. I was like, yeah, I think so, and I was totally wrong. I think it's weird. It's stuck in my head at the beginning because it almost it's like I say, it does carry on. Even some of the characters carry on into the second one, don't they? So
I think that's the one that everyone kind of thinks of when you say Final Destination. But like, oh, that's the one with the big truck and the logs fly off the back, and you're like, well, actually, that's the second one. But
and obviously, it's been so long. There's things I picked up this time. I didn't pick up all the director names of the characters the first time I watched it. I may not even known who they were I would have done in 2000. Come on, I wasn't. I was in my 20s. I was peak movie know-it-all geek. So yeah, it's funny because around this time or just before, a couple of years before, we had Air Force One and Con Air, but nothing like this where it's about a sole survivor kind of feel to it, or an explosion. Those were more about hijackings, so it was more reality based than kind of premonition.
Well, saying that, I think Final Destination 2, that one I feel kind of like tried to take it bigger and go harder with it because everyone loved this one, so it was like, okay, all right, we need to make it bigger, we need to make it better. So I think that's probably why everyone thinks of like the logging truck and everything. But
it's very Canadian, isn't it? Like Canadian lead actor, Canadian director. It's very clearly Canada because it's so clean. The everywhere is very, very clean. I guess it can also pass for France as well and things like that. But there was a film that I've not seen that people talk about a lot online, Soul Survivor, which is about a woman who's a soul survivor, haunted by the dead people. So it's kind of similar. And the other thing I thought of was the musical that I saw when I was a kid, Buddy, the Buddy Holly story. How Buddy Holly's wife was like, don't get on the plane, don't get on the plane. She had this premonition and he got on the plane and he died.
Oh.
So, like, and that's for realsies. So, like, those things went through my head a little bit. The soundtrack's quite funny. Most of the music's played for, like, laughs almost, isn't it? Like Rocky Mountain High and things like that. And like some of it's quite cringy, like the bit where I was called Jack, where Kerr Smith's character is driving along in the car and he's playing like 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I wanna fuck you like it's like, oh, it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. It's like constantly almost killing Seann William Scott, which he'd have been doing anyway, just because he was a dick. Like, he'd been doing that regardless of what had happened.
Yeah, I remember when I was learning to drive, there was a big truck like in front of me, like big like construction gear and everything, and my instructor said to me, he goes, "Oh, make sure you keep plenty of room." And I replied to him, I go, "Oh, trust me, I will. I've seen Final Destination 9." Yeah.
I didn't realise that Ali Larter's character as well is completely by the by, but it's called Clear Rivers.
Clear Rivers, yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
that's so rubbish.
Clear Rivers. Oh my god.
Obviously, you've got Max Schreck, another Nosferatu reference, Agent Schreck. And there's loads of Billy Hitchcock. But like Seann William Scott's playing a pretty comedic character throughout the film, completely unaware of what's going on around him, like falling over, goofing around. He couldn't be any more different than the characters he normally plays, like frat boy kind of characters.
I know, he is so goofy in this one. But lovable. He seems fun.
Yeah, I liked him. I think he's good in most things, to be fair. He's pretty underrated actor.
He is. Yeah, I like Seann William Scott. That's kind of all I've really got. I mean, the budget was 23 mil. It made 113. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics' rating's quite low. It's 36, but the audience is 68. I can kind of understand why, though. Like you say, like some of the like dialogue and acting wasn't on point, like the dad, and I think Kerr Smith kind of goes a bit too.
Yeah, I think he's trying to like prove that he can do something different than playing Jack in Dawson's Creek. Like he's a bit OTT. I didn't notice it at the time, but it's almost laughable. Like he's almost like he's out of Not Another Teen Movie or something.
Yeah.
He's a little bit OTT. I think the teacher's quite good as well. I looked into her, the lady teacher, Kristen Cloak, and I looked into her, and she's been in quite a lot of good stuff. Who like the one who's like, "You're my favorite teacher and you're leaving." So why are you so angry, man? But she's like in the modern remake of one of the modern remakes of Black Christmas, and she was in a really underrated film that I used to like called The 13th Warrior. She was in Millennium with James Wong. Got to make sure I say Wong. And, she was pretty good in it. I thought she was pretty good. However, it was quite funny. There was little moments with her and Devon Sawa's character where he wasn't that subtle in like protecting her. He came across as like really stalkery and creepy.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, that was quite funny. That bit.
So me and Devon Sawa are about the same age. So if I'm like, oh man, he looks so old now, then I guess I do too. But he had quite a lot of fans, like female fans. I think they quite like the sensitive characters that he played.
I see he does a lot of conventions. How old is he? Do you know? Is he same age
as me? So he's whatever 1978, 79 is. So I don't know how old I am. I'm 43, so he'll be about the same. I'm thinking 43 or 44. Because
I remember seeing him in the Stan video. God knows how many times I've seen Eminem's music video Stan. So I've always kind of imagined him, pictured him like that. And I can't remember. I think that was probably 99. Or maybe that was 2000. I don't know. It was around the same time as this. So yeah, this and Stan. So I was like, yeah, that's him. And then when I was researching this, I see the picture of him, and he hasn't changed that much. But like you say, he has kind of got bigger, stockier.
Yeah, he's hench.
Hench, that's the word I'm looking for. He's hench.
He's in the new Chucky series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays a few. I've not watched it, so I don't understand this, but he plays like 4 characters.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of dropped off of that. I got a bit...
I to be honest, I haven't watched all of the films, so I want to kind of do that before I watch, because I'm just all over the place with Chucky. I don't know, other than the ones we watched for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, he plays a character. This kind of sums up the sort of era that he's from. He plays like a movie star who is stalked by a fan in a film called The Fanatic, directed by Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Oh my god! Wow.
Which is in the most 2000s thing ever. Devon Sawa and John Travolta in a film directed by Fred Durst.
Really? Oh my god.
The Fanatic. 4.1 on IMDb. I've seen clips of it. I couldn't get through the beginning of it because John Travolta is like doing the whole massive physical and transformation thing and being a bit too much. As Devon Sawa looks okay from the trailer and things that I've seen, and I think he's good in everything. I don't think I've seen him in anything and thought, oh man, the guy sucks. He's in the terrible Escape Plan 3 with Sylvester Stallone.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah.
I didn't mind the first one, but he's consistently worked, and consistently been good in most things. He's in that film Slackers. It's weird. It's like after this is the same year as Stan.
It is the same year.
Yeah, and the year before he did Idle Hands, which is a really underrated film.
Yeah.
He was in like general cute boy stuff, and then very young kid stuff as well.
Oh, he was in Casper, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was Casper.
He was Casper. Yeah, he was Casper.
He was.
So that's why I think a lot of young teenage women were really liked him, because when he comes alive at the end of Casper, spoiler, they're like, oh, he could be my boyfriend.
Right.
That's what I thought anyway.
Okay, all right. Shall I hit that spoiler warning? We'll jump through the plot.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Spoiler warning.
Okay, right. So the movie starts off with a group of high school students on a trip to Paris. But before takeoff, Alex Browning has a premonition that the plane will blow up, killing everybody on board. Things from his vision start occurring in reality, to where he panics, and when things get heated and a bunch of them get removed from the plane, no one really believes him, but then, just as predicted, the plane explodes, and then they're interrogated by the FBI, and they're obviously suspicious of Alex. But this is probably my main critical point about the film, is the acting. Like we said, they're mostly all young actors. A lot of them haven't been acting for very long. I'm sure some of them, it might be their kind of big break movie. But Kerr Smith, the guy that plays Carter, he's probably the one that bugs me the most, because he's the typical American school dickhead bully, and he's constantly pissed off, just ready to fight anyone.
Yeah, laughably.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he's got to be like so upset about. He's got a fucking awesome car. He's got a hot girlfriend, but he's just constantly pissed off. I'm like, dude,
we don't know
relax.
why, do we?
Yeah.
It's not like Varsity Blues, where it's like, I don't want your life. It's not like he's got. We find out anything about his backstory to understand why he's angry, because he's like that before anything actually happens. He's just. I mean, he's angry that he's been typecast in Dawson's Creek as a sensitive character. That's what it is.
I mean, Alex is freaking out, and then what's his name, Carter. He just gets up and punches him.
Yeah.
That's
his reaction to everything.
If someone's panicking about the plane, you don't just punch them. Like, calm down. Look, punch. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I'd agree. I do like Kerr Smith. I thought he was good as Jack. Back when it was quite a brave thing to have a gay character in a teen drama, to have him be Kevin Williamson's avatar, basically, and be Kevin Williamson in Dawson's Creek as Jack, was a really interesting and difficult role that I thought he carried off really well. I actually really like Jack. But in this, I think he's trying to be like, I could also be a red-blooded male, and maybe in his mind, he's overcorrecting to the point where maybe they're trying to make it like an uber teen movie where every character is very, very clearly defined, and that's the reason it is. Maybe it's not actor choice. Maybe it's like because it is a quite almost scientifically put together film. That there's not a lot of like emotion. It's like, for example, somebody might die, and then 10 seconds later they're like, "Oh, we're really going to miss her," and then we're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just he's just trying to get as much across as quickly as possible before we move on to the next set piece. I don't know. But no, I get what you're saying. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the reason why, but I do think he's a decent actor in other things. It's just, and I don't think I think in a way it makes it quite entertaining that he's so over the top in this.
Yeah.
So if he's entertainingly bad, then that's okay.
So 39 days later, an unusual chain reaction causes Todd to be accidentally hung in his shower. His death is ruled as a suicide, but Alex and Claire sneak to the funeral home to examine his corpse.
Like you do?
Yeah. The home's mortician reveals that the survivors cheated Death's plan and is now claiming their lives as they were meant to die from the accident. Alex and Claire are discussing their next move when the rest of the survivors arrive outside a cafe where Terry is run over and killed by a speeding bus. R.I.P.
Yeah, that's a cool moment.
Yeah. I totally forgot that Tony Todd was in this movie. I didn't necessarily like his character. I mean, he was a bit intense, and it's a bit
Tony Todd.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that he was just hanging around with dead bodies in the middle of the night. But he seemed to know an awful lot about Death's design.
He's
Death's plan.
He is Death.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Maybe.
He has a cool name though. Did you see his name in the credits?
No.
Bloodworth.
Oh, Bloodworth. Okay.
Yeah.
He's one of my best friends, Tony Todd. He followed me on X on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know why. But yeah, me and Tony were like that, you know.
Oh, go way back.
Yeah, I'm like, so thoughts of Bloodworth.
Oh shit! You might listen to this. Oh, I'll take it back, Tony. You're good.
He's gonna turn up and tell you about Death's design for you.
I don't want to know how I'm gonna die. Yeah, I am happy. I mean, considering this is a 2000s film, I am happy that they didn't overuse any like badly done CGI. Obviously, you have to get a little bit here and there, like the shadow of Death when it kind of gets close. I'm fine with that, but you know that I'm all about kind of practical effects, because even if it don't look perfect, you still get like the genuine kind of actor's reaction and the whole messiness of the blood splatters. So I am happy that it's more practical effects rather than CGI.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think that the practical effects stand out as particularly bad. It's not like something where they're always sat at their computers streaming something and it's like all blocky, or there's like, even having said that would be of its time, but like CGI wise in terms of effects, I don't think there's anything that stands out as really bad or laughable. I think they did a pretty good job with it. To be fair, that's probably like something you could say about the X-Files as well. Like the X-Files has aged really well. Some films and TV shows from around that time haven't with their CG, but for whatever reason, it seems to work really well. In this one. Yeah.
So Alex figures out that Death is reclaiming the survivors in order of their intended deaths on the plane, realizing that Ms. Luton would be next. But he's kind of too late getting to her house, and it explodes, and she is impaled by a falling kitchen knife as well, just to kind of finish the job.
Yeah, and it gets pushed down. But he's so dumb. He's so dumb to be like walking through the crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something about a famous person who almost did something similar in real life, but then I thought that might be libelous, so I'm not going to say. I'll tell you who I meant later on.
Okay. The remaining survivors, they reunite while driving as Alex explains the whole situation. Carter, who would be next, stops the car on a train crossing, attempting to die on his own terms. But he changes his mind right at the last second. However, his seatbelt jams, and Alex manages to save him just before the car is smashed by the train. But the shrapnel from the wreckage decapitates Billy.
Boom! Headshot!
Poor old Billy.
Yeah.
He's not had a good time of it.
Poor Billy. And then Alex learns that because he intervened in Carter's death, it skipped him and went on to the next person in the sequence. So yeah, a new rule.
That's the rule.
Yeah, rules are rules.
The rules are the rules. That's the cheese tax.
I do get a little confused. I mean, more so at the end. You know, we'll get to that later. But like how the whole kind of death design kind of like works. Mm-hmm. But I think it's the ending.
To get your pinboard out with all your bits of
exactly, yeah. You have to. It's a real head scratcher. Okay, so he was that there, and that was here. Yeah,
oh,
it's
yeah. By the time you've worked it out, you're like, it's me.
Yeah. Also, I think I might have said this on the Chucky episode as well, but I'm kind of surprised that this was rated a 15. There's quite a significant amount of blood and violence when you kind of think about it.
Yeah, he calls him a dick quite a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, Carter, you dick.
Language, yeah.
Language, Timothy.
I don't know which death is kind of like the most brutal. I think maybe like what's his name? The guy in the bathtub, the one that strangles himself.
That's just digging away at yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the most upsetting. The teachers is probably the most gory, maybe. I don't know. But then being hit by a bus, you don't really see a lot of it. You just hear it. That's probably one of the most impactful ones.
Well, that's like instant, and it like bam. Okay, all right, she's gone. Whereas what's his face that slips on a drying rack thing, and it wraps around his neck, and he slips in the bath, and all the shampoo is there, so he can't stand up, and that's like a solid 2 minutes of him just kind of like dying. You know,
it's very awkward. Not awkward. I don't know. Oh, so awkward. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but awkward. But yeah.
So, all right. Who's next? The next day, Alex, thinking that he is next, suddenly realised it's actually Claire. He rushes to her house, finding her trapped in her car, surrounded by electrical cables that ignite a gasoline leak around her. He grabs the cable, allowing her to escape from the car just before it explodes. 6 months later, Alex, Claire and Carter travel to Paris to celebrate their survival. While discussing everything, Alex reveals that death never skipped him after he saved Claire. Alex retreats when a bus hurls a parking sign towards him, but Carter pushes Alex out the way. However, a sign swings down towards Carter and kills him. Yeah.
So why are they in France, by the way? Is that just because that's where the school trip was?
That's where they were going to in the beginning, so I think they went there to kind of celebrate, like, hey, we're here.
Would it be funny if it was like because death doesn't work in France? like it fast forwards a year later and they're on bicycles with berets and big moustaches and onions around their neck, and they're like, oh, bonjour, Alex. Bonjour, Claire. And it's like, oh, we're so lucky to be here because we know that death can't get on a plane and go to France.
Yeah.
I was thinking that at first. I was like, oh, maybe because that's where they're supposed to go. But yeah, it's
yeah, there's quite a few like time jumps as well. Like, because this is like 6 months later.
Yeah, they're like proper old, drinking beer. They're all like 21 now. I suppose in France you like could be 12 or whatever. But it's funny. It reminded me a bit of the end of The Dark Knight Rises, where they're sat in the cafe at the end, just kind of looking over and just having a little drink. Just reminds me of that. At the end, it was quite funny.
We made it.
Yeah. But Carter's like not going to make it to the next film.
Yeah, I mean, I like the ending. I don't necessarily understand the math behind it. Maybe one day I'll understand.
You'll do the working out. You'll carry the one.
But that's the problem with these films. I enjoy them, but I just struggle to keep up with the logic. I don't like thinking too much.
This is correct. I trust that the logic in the first one is correct.
Yeah.
I don't trust that in the later one. I think in the later ones they've just got like a load of cool kills and they just go, and then just some shit happens. We don't care.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as clever. I think it gets less clever as the series goes on, from what I can remember. I think they probably have put some thought into it. I'll give them a bit of credit for that.
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I was because I've got this on Blu-ray, and I was flicking through the special features on it, and there was 3 deleted scenes. I don't know if you're aware of these, but the first one is Alex and Claire. At one stage, they have a kind of sex scene where like it kind of alludes to the fact that they have a sex scene. And then the second one is Claire when she's in the bathroom at home and she does a pregnancy test that's a positive. And then the third deleted scene is actually an alternate ending where Alex actually dies when he gets the big electrical cables when he's saving her in the car.
I bet that's fans not wanting him to die. I bet that tested really bad and they cut that out because they were like, no, people want him to make it.
Well, he dies then, and then it jumps to later where she's actually giving birth to his baby, and and then it jumps again where like they visit his what's her face, Claire, and Carter visit his grave with the baby, and they're like all kind of like happily ever after kind of thing.
They've made the right choice to leave that out.
They didn't need
but
any
also,
of that.
like, the big twist is that she's not called Claire.
Claire.
It's like I thought it was just them saying her name in a strange way. Claire. I was like, what? Her name is Claire.
Claire. Claire River.
It's like parents were hippies, or I think she says something about her dad or something in it. I don't know. We get such little backstory on these people. Also, when the plane explodes and they're all took back home, her parents can't even be bothered to pick her up after a potential near death. She gets dropped off at home by like Devon Sawa's family.
Yeah.
It's like, what shitty parents.
I know.
Canal is like, you nearly died. Oh, could you make your own way home? Right, so,
should we? Yeah, I'm kind of glad they made that choice. Right, should we jump to our ratings?
Yeah, let's go.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I always say it up top, and then nobody has to listen to what I've got to say before I say my numbers. So I'm going to say the number last. So I like this film. It's not aged badly in the 24 years since I last saw it. It preys into people's feelings, fear of flying, and irrationality of just sometimes your number is up, just that sometimes it's going to be you, and fear of the Goo Goo Dolls. No, it's not. It has a nice little link to X-Files episodes and how well made and clear and concise they are, and how clear they are.
I was trying so hard not to say anything.
Premonitions. I think premonitions is a nice simple idea. Like death being preordained is scary. Like having.
Oh, you've cut out.
So I'm going to give it 6 point.
Oh, yeah. There, you're back now.
Hello. So basically death being preordained and having to fight against the inevitable. So I do like this film. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm going to give the 5 for Devon Sawa because he's a legend for Idle Hands. No, I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. I do think it's a really good film. It's better than a 6 out of 10 movie, and I'm quite stingy, as you know. So I'm not giving these out for nothing. So 6.5 for me.
Oh, and I forgot to mention as well, the dog doesn't die. Clear's dog.
Yeah,
at the end.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I gave it the extra 0.5.
Yeah.
6.75 then for that. But also, why has she got that dog chained up outside? Come on, it's the year 2000. It's not fucking Middle Ages. Come on now. Anyway.
Okay. Right. I'm going to do the same as you. I'm going to leave my score to the last. So, yeah. I mean, I like it. It's a fun film. Like I said earlier, it's one of those that's like Saw, where it doesn't really matter which one you watch because the stories are always going to be the same, but you watch it for that kind of shocking kind of creativeness of the kills and everything, or deaths, should I say. Ordinarily, I feel like I would have given the overall movie a kind of middle ground score for the not so great kind of acting and writing. I mean, Devon Sawa was all right, but yeah, I feel like it could have been tighter. However, this was quite a highly received movie when it came out, and still to this day people talk about it 24 years later, and it seems like the franchise is still going strong. So that kind of bumps it up a bit for me. You know, for the fun shock factor and the whole kind of story concept behind the movie. I think it's really clever. I think it's good. So I've actually got this slightly higher than you. I'm doing a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, I thought you might for some reason. I don't know why. I just had that in my head.
Oh yeah, and I did put down for our ratings out of 10. 1 to 10 overly angry teenagers. Yeah,
punching people out for no reason.
So I've given it a 7, and you've given it, what was it, a 6.5?
6.75 now.
6.75
because of the dog being alive.
All right, so cool. Let's jump into this week's trivia.
Trivia. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've only actually got 3 bits of trivia. If you go on IMDb, there is loads of trivia for this movie.
So just go there and look yourself.
Yeah, there is loads, but I didn't find anything necessarily kind of like great. It was just kind of like little things. But I've picked out 3 that I thought was pretty cool. I think you might have touched on this at the beginning, but a lot of the news footage shown is actually footage from the July 1996 explosion and crash of TWA Flight 800 off the Long Island, New York. Did you know that one?
Yeah. That was the one thing that I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's not a good one if you're going on holiday to know that, I guess.
Yeah. In the first draft of the script, the survivors that get off the plane were actually 7 strangers. But due to teen slashers being quite popular at the time, the survivors were then changed to high school students on a class trip. So, yeah, I reckon that was probably a good shout.
Yeah, I think there wasn't a lot. I agree. There's a lot of technical trivia,
Yeah.
But there isn't like a lot of super interesting trivia. I did think it was interesting, all the director names and all the reference to film and particularly horror film. I thought it was quite cool. Billy Hitchcock and Browning and Murnau and things like that.
Yeah.
And like you say about the real crash stuff, really made it feel a little bit more real and scary.
Yeah.
I'm not showing this to my wife because I already watched Poseidon with her, and I always wanted to go on a cruise, and now I know that we're never going on a cruise.
Yeah, sorry, my last bit of trivia, I've just realised I had another one. There was the original casting choices for Alex and Claire were actually Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, but then both actors would later star in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, Spider-Man and Mary Jane.
Yeah, they would have done a good job, but yeah, makes it almost more 2000s with it being Devon, Sawa, and Ali Larter.
Yeah,
she was popping up in stuff all the time.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really have that much trivia, so let's jump into this week's game.
Play a game.
Right, we got a fun, new, interesting one. So this game, I'm going to describe a death in a horror film, but you have to tell me whether it belongs in the Final Destination franchise.
Okay. Right,
So-
I think I understand.
So I'll name a death and you got to tell me if it's Final Destination or not.
So, like, Chucky kills this guy.
Yeah. It actually took me quite a while to make this. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be
But
not a good score.
you do have the advantage because you said you've seen some of the sequels, so you might know.
Okay, I guess.
Okay, so the first one, a girl gets locked inside a tanning bed with the heat cranked up high and ultimately gets cooked alive.
I think that is a Final Destination movie. I think I've seen that
Yeah, that is the third one, Final Destination 3.
one. Okay, so I have seen that one.
Next one, after an allergic reaction, she leans out of the car window and gets decapitated by a telephone pole.
Oh, that's Final Destination as well. I mean,
No, that one was Hereditary.
I've not seen Hereditary. I want to. People keep telling me it's amazing. Spoiler now. Ruined it.
Spoiler. But if it's anything like that happens really early in the film, so
Oh, great! I'll just tell me when I can start watching.
it's
'cause I've
not
already
that ruined. So after crashing her car, a woman narrowly misses a PVC pipe which impales through her headrest. However, when the rescue services cut her free, they accidentally set off the airbag which blasts her head back, impaling it on the pipe.
Impaling it on the pipe. Final Destination. Yeah, sure.
Yay, that's the second one.
I don't know which one. Oh, the second one. Okay.
Yeah. Next up, when a truck carrying panes of glass rolling backwards suddenly stops, a sheet of glass slides off, decapitating him.
That is Final Destination. I said that.
That is The
Confidence.
Omen.
It's what?
The Omen.
Oh, The Omen, right?
Yeah.
Dang.
Next up, when mopping up the floor, this man finds himself getting electrocuted in a very shocking way.
Oh, that's from one we've. That's from Chopping Mall. So no. That's Dick Miller in Chopping Mall.
That's it, Dick Miller. Last one. When working out in the gym, the lifting machine breaks, swinging huge heavy weights down either side of his head, squashing it like a grape.
Is it from a movie with a rock in it? No. It's Final Destination.
Yeah. That's the third one as well. Yep. Cool. That's the game. So just...
Oh, I did okay.
You did all right. I think you got 4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. Not bad. That's like a good percentage. I don't know what percentage that is, but it's good.
Yeah, so let's just wrap up. I mean, next episode, it's a film that I've only seen it once and I'm not overly keen, but I'm willing to give it another go, and that's The Purge.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
The Purge.
I don't know if you've
Interesting.
seen
I've
that
never
one.
been tempted to watch it, but I will watch it for you.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't even know if it counts as a horror. It's been a long time. It's more like a home invasion type
So that's
film.
next up, Purge.
The Purge, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the poll pick, I've been slacking because we've had a couple of weeks off, so I've been slacking on that. But yeah, I haven't put it up yet. I'll probably put it up later tonight or tomorrow. But just a reminder that that's going to be for video game horrors. So that's Silent Hill from 2006, Doom from 2005, and Resident Evil from 2002.
Ooh, I have seen the Resident Evil film when it first came out. Again, that would be 22 years ago. I'm really with the maths today, so I wouldn't mind watching that again.
Yeah.
The others I'm not as familiar with. So yeah, let's go for it. Did you say the original Doom then as well?
Doom, yeah. Silent Hill, Doom,
The one
and
with,
Resident Evil.
with Dwayne, the Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Rock
yeah.
the Dwayne.
The Dwayne. I think I've seen that as well. So yeah, but I can't remember anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
So cool. I'm up for that. I'm up for that. These are all films, again, like most of these films we watch, films I would probably never watch. So yeah, it's good. It makes me do some homework. It makes me like, it's fun. It's like rather than watching the same films over and over again. So yeah, rock on.
Cool.
Rock
right.
on, brother.
I'll head us out. So if you've liked today's episode and want to hear more, then go ahead and give us a follow from wherever you're listening from. You can also go and like us on Facebook, as that's where we stick up our poll picks, where you can vote for what we do next. And yeah, that's all for today. So thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This